Today, I will be talking about how I implemented specifications grading in a course, Compi 148. It started implementing it in fall 2021. I'm also teaching it this semester. So I'll also provide some insights on the changes that I had to make this semester and how that has been going so far. So a little bit about the course itself. It's a computer networks course. It is an upper division course. And I just put the description of the course in the slide. What I wanted to highlight about the course over here is it's a course in which there is a natural division of the content. It is taught with different approaches. You can cover these concepts in different ways. There are different textbooks that deal with it that way, and they're all because in computer networks is a very good example of abstraction in computer engineering. This course itself, all of these topics can also be taught in abstraction with the other topics, so they're not interdependent that way. So that was one of the strengths of this course and why implementing specifications grading for this course was easy. In terms of the audience for this course, it's mostly the computer engineering and software engineering majors. We don't have any other majors taking this course, so we have a pretty good understanding of the base knowledge that the students come to this course with. So that also helps in designing specifications grading. So in terms of how the specifications grading was designed, it was based off of the course learning objectives. The course learning objectives, I start in the boot camp. We had this process where you take learning objectives, you make map it to assignments, and then you make grading bundles and so on. I tried to follow the same approach. In some places, I skipped a few steps and then I had to go back and correct it. But it was basically based on the learning objectives for this course, what we can consider as core objectives and what we can consider as advanced objectives. That's why this course was very good, because as I mentioned, it's very easy to abstract out the different components of this course. And as such, if you meet somebody and they say that they're a computer networks expert, they could be an expert in any of these things. They could be an expert at writing applications. They could be an expert at doing transport layer or routing and so on and so forth. But they'll also have an understanding of the overall architecture and the overall nature of the internet. So with that in mind, there are 4 different types of assessments in this course. One is quizzes. Quizzes are mostly knowledge checks, just to check if they understand a concept. And there were mainly 2 types of quizzes: core quizzes and advanced quizzes. I also had a required quiz. This was the set of things that I wanted them to do regardless of what. One was a prerequisite knowledge quiz. This is something I have in all of my courses, irrespective of whether it's specifications grading or not. And this was mainly to make sure that students when they take this course, they know what they're getting into. And if they struggle with the prerequisite quiz, they know that they're going to struggle with the class. So this assessment was designed this way: required quizzes and core quizzes that test the core concepts. These are things that if somebody passes a course in networks, they should be knowing it. Advanced quizzes are required for higher grades. So they would attempt the advanced quizzes. Either they test the advanced, the same core concepts in more depth, or they test advanced concepts. I had 2 quizzes. One was the depth one was the breadth one. And quizzes are auto-graded on Canvas. So they're pass or fail, unlimited attempts. And every quiz would have a specifications like you get 80% or higher and you pass the quiz. Initially, I had planned it in such a way that they would have to have 1 week between retakes. It was difficult to set it up on Canvas, which is why I said, okay, take it any number of times. But then even though I gave them unlimited attempts, students didn't do more than 4 or 5 attempts in the quizzes. And there were very few students who did the thing where they would just keep trying continuously in a half an hour window and just guess their way out of the quiz. There were very few instances like that. The other type of assignments are homework assignments. These are some problems, longer problems that they have to solve. Again, testing their understanding of core and advanced concepts. The assignments would contain low pass questions, which is absolute core. If they can't answer that question, they shouldn't be passing this course. High pass questions are advanced concepts. They either need more depth or the breadth. And homeworks had a revision and resubmission cycle. Revision and resubmission could be done twice. Most of the students were able to get their desired grade within that period. So that was okay. It worked out pretty well. So that was homeworks. And then I had exams. Exams are somewhat like interviews. You either get it or you don't get it. So it was trying to mimic that. And the only exception was the midterm had a retake opportunity in exchange for tokens. I'll come to how the tokens are earned. But with this, I retained the highest grade in their midterm, and the final exam had no retake opportunity. Initially, I had a different scheme for exams. Eventually, I went with the exam average. And if that was above 60, I would retain the maximum of the midterm and final. If it was less than 60, that means the student fails, because 60 was the marks that you could achieve if you know core concepts in the course. Finally, I had a project which was similar to project submissions in the industry. You have a final milestone, but then you have check-ins and you have multiple opportunities to get feedback. That also, the design of it was okay. But then the problem came when it came to grading bundles. As such, these grading bundles were made again based on the objectives. I have an Excel sheet that I used. If anybody is interested, I can give you the link to it. How I came from the learning objectives to these grading bundles. But in the interest of time, I will just cover what part of this was challenging. The challenging part was the project was a group project. And I said that they should have an exceptional grade in the project to get an A+. But it so happened that in a group of 4 people, 2 of them wanted to aim for a A+, one wanted just a passing grade, and one of them wanted a B grade. So then they couldn't agree upon how much of the project they had to complete. And this was the first time I had absolutely no student get an A+ in the course, because there was no project that was exceptional because of this divide. So that was the grading bundles. Tokens, they would earn it based on attending office hours or posting meaningful posts in the discussion forums. And yeah, I think in the interest of time, I'll just share a little bit about how this went. In terms of the student feedback, more or less everything was positive. The students took it very well. Initially, there was a little bit of hesitation, but then when they saw how it pans out, they were happy with the fact that they were able to revise and resubmit. But then there was only one subset of students who complained that just for a simple arithmetic mistake, I have to revise and resubmit my answers. I mean, this was their statement. I ran the risk of not passing the homework because of one mistake. But I tried to explain the need to aim for excellence, but perhaps they're just too overburdened to deal with such small mistakes. But yeah, that was the overall feedback. And in terms of lessons learned, the only thing I want to highlight is the bundling of individual and teamwork needs to be done carefully. And yeah, I think I'm running out of time over here. So I do have more that I can answer on the chat. and if there are any questions. But that's the end of my time here. Thank you for your attention.